Hello, 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 and welcome to My Empty Hands, a podcast about the martial arts, typically focused on Kempo, but we give all love to all the different martial arts out there. I, as usual, am Reggie Darden, and I'm excited to get to chat with Mr. Wilson Machado, and we're going to get into his story and whatever other rat holes that we get onto. I said this, so I had an interview earlier today with another Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu person, and so I have deemed today Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, all day Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So if you're not a fan of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, too bad. You're gonna hear all about it. So we're gonna get into that here in just a little bit. So I usually start things off with just kind of a little bit of my background. I currently train in 5 different martial arts at this point: American Kempo, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Hapkido, Capoeira, and Muay Thai. I think I got them all. I'm not sure if I missed any, but I also have done some boxing and some Taekwondo. So I'm very busy guy and just enjoying all the training there. So that's enough about me. We're going to turn it over to our esteemed guest here, Mr. Machado, and we are going to take it back to the beginning. When did the martial arts find you? When did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu find you? And where did it all start for you? And we'll go from there.
Right. Thank you for having me. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. Martial arts start early. I started judo at 7 years old, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu started when I was about 10 or 11. A few years later. So all of that started in Brazil, the southern part of Brazil, and it's been an ongoing journey for me.
Very nice, very nice. So, what was the trigger to get you started?
My mom.
What?
My mom. She was tired of having the kids at home, and she found something for us to do. So it was between swimming and martial arts. He kept me busy and tired, and out of trouble until I was age, and it got me in all kinds of trouble too. So it was, let's keep the kids busy and find something to do. Um, I've always loved the water, so mom found a swimming pool, and right there, the same club, there was a judo academy, and she's like, "Oh, why don't you do that too?" So that's how I started. And then 3 years later, we found a jiu-jitsu academy, and I was like, "Mom, I want to do that too." All right, let's do it.
Oh, very nice, very nice, very nice. So, so I didn't know about the judo part. That's one of the great things about doing this show is that I get to learn things. So, so you have black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Do you also have one in judo?
Yes, sir, I do. I start practicing judo and jiu-jitsu simultaneously at the same time. I was doing both. So in the 80s for the kids, we called the stand-up judo and then the ground judo. That was the BJJ,
Oh,
right? But
gotcha.
yeah, that's how everything started. So I practiced both. I earned my black belt in judo 1993, and my black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was in 1995.
Gotcha. Now, since they both share similarities, was there kind of a difficult transition when you picked up the jiu-jitsu?
No, there was
coming from judo.
there was really no difficulty in transition. If you break down when you go to the core of both martial arts, they are the same. It's just what do you focus on? Judo focus more on the stand-up game, and jiu-jitsu will focus more on the ground game. But no, there was no transition. It felt like at that time that I was just doing the same thing.
Gotcha. Now, have you trained in any other arts? Just those
I
two.
dabbed a little bit into karate, got punched in the face, and gave up on that. Something didn't feel right about getting punched in the face. I did a little bit of taekwondo for about a year and a half, and I am also an instructor in Krav Maga.
Oh, very nice, very nice, very nice. Like it, I like it. So just to make sure that we've got this clear and out of the way. My understanding, you are not related to the famous Machado family, or are you? Or let's
Well,
let's
here's
get that
here's here's
out of
the
the
the first
way.
funny story, right? Uh, no, I am not. I'm pretty sure that if you dig deep, you're gonna find some type of relationship and somewhere between the Machados and my family, right? Um, but I came to the United States in 2000. Then 9/11 happened, and the year after 9/11, I went back to Brazil. Went back to Brazil, visited my family, came back. I was flagged on immigration, right? So they
Hmm.
sent me to the little office there, gonna get an interview. I sat in that office for 6, 7 hours. Nobody can talk to me. And I was panicking, my life is over, I'm gonna be deported and all that kind of crap. Well, the officer came and Mr. Machado. I was like, yes, sir. Come to the window, please. So I approached the window, took a seat, and he kept looking at my paperwork and I was sweating, almost crying, right? Let me go, let me go. So he finally looked at me and said, any relationship with Carlos Machado? At that moment, I was like, yes, we're cousins. And he cracked a big smile and was like, "Oh, Carlos Machado is my professor. I've been training with him for a few years, blah, blah, blah." Stamped my documents and sent me home. I was like, "Thank God," right? So, got out of there. Um, my wife was like, "What happened?" Told my wife what took place. She's like, "Did you lie?" I said, "Well, it worked. I'm home and I'm never leaving this country again." So, fast forward, I don't know, 10, 15 years, maybe longer than that. Um, Carlos Machado opened that gym in Bedford, the CMJJ in Bedford, right? So I'm driving around, kind of, I was like, oh, let me go and check out that place. So knock on the door, Professor Greg received me a chit chat with Greg, and I was like, all right, pretty cool. And he asked me the same question. You related to Master Carlos? No, I'm not. No, 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 you need to meet him. In my mind, I'm going, no, I don't. Right? I don't know if this guy's gonna find out about that story. I have no idea. So I registered. I started training there, and there was one night. Professor Greg called me. It's like, "Hey, Master Carlos is gonna be at the academy. Make sure you're here." Like, yes, sir. Okay, I'll show up. As soon as I opened that door, Master Carlos looked at me and was like, "You must be the Brazilian." So we started speaking Portuguese. I was like, "Yeah, it's me," and he asked me, "Any relationship?" I said, Mr. Carlos, honestly, no. But I have a funny story for you. He was like, what is that? So I told him the story, same story at the airport. And he's like, huh. So my last name was good for something, right? I was like, he kept me here, sir. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. He called his wife over, asked for his cell phone, took a selfie with me, and posted on his Facebook. I just met a longtime cousin from Brazil, a Wilson Machado. So I tagged it. The picture is out there. So now officially, per Master Carlos, yes, we're cousins.
Right on, right on. That is the way to do it. Yeah, you
So
will it into existence. So
yeah.
very
So
nice,
there's
very
no there's
nice.
no actual
So
relationship, but that's kind of a cool story of how everything happened. The picture is out there. He
right
posted
on.
himself. I didn't say it. He did. So I'm taking it.
Hey, it's like they say, photos or it didn't happen.
Right?
So
It did
that's
happen.
that
It's right
that's
there.
very nice, very nice. So I'm probably gonna jump around here, but I'm curious in being in Brazil and kind of comparing it to how jujitsu has grown in the United States. I mean, was uh, was Brazilian Jiu Jitsu kind of as big over in Brazil as it is here, or did they kind of
Mhm.
uh, go up at kind of at the same time
No,
with the
uh,
UFC
no,
and
they didn't grow up at the same time. Jiu-jitsu in Brazil was developed much earlier, and it got really popular way before Royce did what he did in UFC one. Right? It was already popular. It was already taking over the country, no question about it. When Royce did what he did, and then he exploded. It really did explode. So uh, the development of jiu-jitsu in the United States is kind of a, if I may say so, kind of a late boom, right? It has become popular in the last 10 to 15 years, maybe 20 years, but it was already popular in Brazil probably 10, 15, 20 years before that.
gotcha. Now so from my capoeira world, I know that uh, there's a lot of struggle and kind of dick measuring between groups in Brazil. Is there kind of a similar situation with the jiu-jitsu in Brazil between schools and teachers and
10 times worse. 10 times worse.
oh,
When it comes
that's pretty big.
when it comes to the jiu-jitsu, you're talking about a place where you have the biggest names of the art. They are right there in the same country, right? So is there a dick measurement contest? Absolutely. And they fight because of lineage. They fight because of the time when you got your black belt, who promoted you, and all of that. So there is still a lot of that and a lot of politics too.
Hmm. Yeah, all the martial arts seem to suffer from that. Unfortunately, it should be
Can't get away from it.
about promoting the art, but it's turned into, oh well, who got their black belt when and who they get it
Yeah, who they
from,
got it
and
from, and this guy is a fake, and that guy is not good, and you deal with all of that. I try to stay away from it because it benefits nobody, right? Respect those that came before you. That's part of my philosophy, being that old school. Respect those that came before you. You know, it's not my job to question anybody's rank or anybody's ability. If you got your rank, you got your rank. You know, just let it be and let's move on.
gotcha. So you came to the States. Was there any you get involved with the teachers and in the schools and stuff here? Was there any kind of looking at it and go, oh, well, these American folks they're watering it down, or it's not exactly the highest quality jujitsu?
Uh, yes, there is some of that, right? I came to the United States and I wanted nothing to do with martial arts. I wanted nothing to do with anything that was part of my past life. It's like I'm starting over. But it took me a couple of years, and I was already looking for either a jiu-jitsu gym or a judo gym. I just wanted to go back and do something, right? And based on my experience, the baggage that I brought with me, yes, there were places I walked in that I'm like, no, it's not worth being here, right? But in the other hand, there were places where I walked in and I'm like, I need to be here just because of the instructors, the lineage, and uh, um, what the school was about, right? So you definitely have some of the dojos here on the martial arts that I know that are very watered down. And, you know, uh, you signed this contract here, you got your black belt in so many years. I'm like, I'm already a black belt. I don't need that type of thing. And this is not what I'm looking for, right? I came here, I want to have a good practice, I want to continue to learn something, but it was more on uh, we just want to get you in here. And I was like, no. So yeah, I felt some of that.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. So let's transition over to the competition side of it. How so I'm going to assume that you've done quite a bit of competing in your time.
I've done quite a bit of competing in my time. I started competing at 14 years old in BJJ, and I kept competing until I was 21, 22. So that was quite a bit of fighting in that, not just in BJJ, but also in judo. Did a lot of competition in judo as well.
Mhm. And was that something that you were kind of always drawn to, or were you kind of was it forced upon you, or?
It wasn't forced. I wanted to compete. I've always had that competition in me, right? Um, did the competition because I wanted to. I enjoyed the competition. I wanted to be the best, and if I wasn't the best, I wanted to know who beat me, where they're at, what they're learning that I'm not, because I want to learn that too, right? So competing in both BJJ and judo showed me the road per se, right? I've always went after. Can I go practice at your gym? Can I go see what you guys do? How do you guys play? Um, I always went after. If there's somebody that is better than me, that's the guy that I want to go fight. You know, oh, but he's so much better. Like, so be it, right? If I got choked out, I tap. If I get thrown, I just take a fall. There's no secret there. And he humbled me. It really did. The competition humbled me. It wasn't. I don't talk about the wins. I talk about my losses. And why? Because I learned more from the losses than I learned from the wins. And one of the biggest lessons that I learned is no matter how tough you are, you will always gonna find somebody that is tougher than you, right? He makes you humble. He does make you humble. And I met so many great people through doing just that, just going and fighting. And because I've never been afraid to fight, there were plenty of great opportunities that I was given just because of that. Oh, there's a guy there. Yeah, let's invite him. You know, he fights. He fights hard. He's hardcore. I was never hardcore. I was just stubborn. Never gave up. Yeah, competition.
Yeah,
I do
exactly.
miss competition, but another lesson that competition taught me is that no matter who you are, no matter what your titles are, you will get old, and your time will come, right? And my time came. My time came with serious back injury, very serious knees injury, and I pay a high price for it. You know, that whole thing of toughen up and get on the mat again because you're a warrior. That kind. I was like, no, take care of your body. Take care of your body because it's the only one. And even though now that you're 20, 21, full of testosterone, and you have the world at your feet, father time never loses. Okay, and
Oh, definitely,
it
definitely.
will catch up with all of us. That's why today I am the way I am. I practice because I enjoy it, and I practice to have fun, to continue to be strong. But I'm not out there to prove anything to anyone. And if there's any chance that I'm gonna get hurt, nope. Let's save for tomorrow. Let's save for another day. I'm not here for that. Uh,
No, I'm right there with you. Right there with you, and the knees and the back and everything else is it's definitely not like it was when I was 20, and I'm feeling it, but
One of my back injury was so serious that one of the doctors that looked at me said, "I will be surprised if you're gonna still walk by the time you turn 40."
mm, mm, mm,
And
mm.
I was a young and dumb kid, and when I heard that, I looked at the doctor and said, "I'm not gonna make it to 40." So I don't care. I just want to get back on that. Wrong attitude. Wrong attitude. I'm glad that I'm walking. I'm glad that I'm healthy and I can still do what I do, but the limitations are there. Definitely, they're definitely there. There's a price that I pay for that attitude, and today I know, you know, should have done different.
Mm.
Have listened to your
Gotcha, gotcha.
like, yeah, they're right.
Yeah, listen to your body is huge.
Good.
Is That's totally changed my training philosophy. I mean, I never was the super stud and did all these kind of crazy things, but I definitely think more about things that I'm getting into before I do them now. There's just is yeah, you only get one body, and just
Yep.
like you said, Father Time will catch up to you. So
And I
yeah,
was I
I
was
can
I was that kid. I was trying to do flying arm bars in every tournament, right? And every time that you hit that match, I mean, it caused damage. It caused damage until it catches up with you and go, yep, this time you're not getting up. And is one of the most horrible feelings you have when you feel on top of the world, you feel like you're invincible and you have to be carried away, right? And that's what I try. If I can pass anything on to the younger generation, is that hey, don't put yourself in that position. Protect your body.
gotcha.
It's okay to say no. Be respectful. It's okay to say no, right? Because it will catch up with you eventually.
Exactly, exactly. So, for someone like me that is still pretty new to not only jujitsu but competing, what's maybe some other helpful advice that you would give to someone that's just getting into competing or still in their early phase of the competing?
Enjoy it. Enjoy the heck out of it. Uh, you have to have a purpose to compete, right? Some people aspire to be world champions, others want to be Olympic champions, and whatever it is. But I never aspire for the title. I always wanted to have fun. So if you decide to compete, have fun with it. Have fun with it. Uh, Protect your body. Listen to your body. And I know people will go, listen to your coaches. Listen to your coaches. Maybe your coach is telling you something or is asking you or building a game plan that you go, that's not how this guy does. That's not, you're not that guy, right? And your coaches know you, your coaches know what you're capable of, and your coaches understand how to make you win. Follow their advice, have fun, and get out there. Get out there. Get the experience. One day, the day that is over, you will know. And on that day, when you look back, you're gonna go, I had my time, I had my fun, I accomplished everything I needed. And it will be an easy ride into the sunset, right?
Mm, gotcha.
If you have fun doing it, then you don't have that regret. Oh, I forgot to do this. I wish I had done that. I did it all. I did it all. Everything that I could. I fought every person that I wanted to fight, win or lose. But I look back, like, don't you miss competition? I don't. I have no desire to go back competing, but I take great pleasure in coaching today. It's just a different phase.
Very nice, very nice. So, is there? I guess there's two parts to this. One is there anything that you would have done differently in your training? And the second part of it is, are there things that maybe you used to do in your training that we don't do now that maybe you wish would come back, and kind of vice versa? Is there things that we do now that maybe you wish we would have done earlier in your training?
I think in my training, is there things that So let's break it down. Let's go for with the first question first. What was that very first question? Is there anything in my training that I used to do that we don't do it today? Was that the first part, right?
Yes.
Yes, there was quite a bit. And I understand why we don't do it anymore. Okay. We were not into the protect your body, save it for another day. We pushed through pain, we pushed through injuries. And as much as I appreciate that mentality and I understand why it was done that way, I am glad we don't do that anymore today. Right. If you the majority of places where I go that I have contact with is if the player is injured, then the professors are protecting that player and they are nurturing, or the training partners are allowing that player to heal before we go 100%. And I think that's part of something that I am glad we don't do it anymore. Right. So
Gotcha.
players can last a little longer than 22, 23 years old when most careers were taking a beat and players were already injured to the point that they could barely compete anymore. Uh, some things that we used to do that I wish they would still doing, that's where the old man comes off, right? Is part of the tradition that is part of the martial arts. I think we have lost quite a bit of that. And most people today that are so focused in competition don't see the value of it. I miss that part. Some parts of those traditions I still miss, and I do it for myself, right? At the academy at Renzo Gracie, it drives Professor Greg, Professor Philip, it drives them crazy. I was like, but I have to deal with it. I'm always gonna do it, right?
Mm,
Uh,
exactly.
me personally, if I get there and Professor Greg or Professor Philip are not on the mat, I don't get on the mat. I wait for them to step on the mat and then I ask for permission. And Professor Greg and Professor Philip are both, you don't have to do that, man. I was like, for me, for myself, I do. It is my way of showing the respect that I have for you guys. And I will continue to do it. Right. Drives them crazy. Professor Greg kind of pinches me every time. He's like, I'm going to choke you. Like, okay, no problem. Let's keep going. So that part of the tradition
No, I like that. I
is
like that.
is something that has been lost um, through the years because we have had an influx of wrestlers and people from other martial arts, right? And it's more, we're building more athletes than we are building martial artists, right? And I don't want to get on anybody's bad side for saying that. These athletes that we're building, they are phenomenal. They have the endurance, they have the technique, they have the flexibility. They are super strong. It's unbelievable what they can do. I just wish that we had kept some of those traditions in our academies. But times have changed.
No, I
So
feel you.
I got to progress with the times, and that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, they say change is good. It's like, yes and no, and not all change is good. I definitely am of the mind that, yeah, there's definitely a difference in schools today, and not just jujitsu, but in martial arts schools in general. But there's definitely that. I like that you say that, we're building the athletes and versus uh, the martial artist, and I'm kind of the mind that there should be a separation. Maybe not so much in jujitsu, but I look at MMA and people. There are some schools that are like, oh well, MMA is a martial art, and it's like, no, it kind of is not. It's a combat sport versus a martial art.
And I am of the very same opinion. MMA is a combat sport, is not a martial art, right? I am very into the martial arts side of it. I am much into the tradition part of it. And I wish we would still be teaching. And this is not just in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu academies, it's everywhere. Even in judo, judo was, in my opinion, the martial art that kept the tradition for the longest time. It's not the same uh, as it was before. Um, I grew up and I practiced everywhere. You don't walk on the mat without bowing. You don't walk off the mat without bowing. You don't start practice with a partner without bowing to that partner. And I got into an argument a few weeks ago on Facebook because somebody questioned, what is the point of bowing? That's a waste of time. I'm like,
Mm,
I don't usually do that, but I was like, look, man, this is why we do it. This is what it represents. Well, I really don't give a. I was like, "Oh, I get it. You will never understand. You're part of this new generation that wasn't taught that way, and I'm not gonna convince you. You know, I'm just sorry because you're missing a big part of the art that you say you love so much."
exactly, exactly. Yeah, I think about the UFC though. Those early days of the UFC, the guys were showing up, and a lot of guys when they came into the octagon, they bowed, and
Right, right.
there was that
There
thing.
was
Now
no
the
respect.
guys just run in and go crazy, and
In the early days of the UFC, I was the one guy that would go and watch the fights. I would buy the fights, invite my friends, and watch and had my and all of a sudden we start having these people be super disrespectful and the trash talk and all of that, and I just I just lost it. I just lost it. It's something that I don't watch it anymore. It's not that I don't like the fight. Is I can't stand the disrespect towards the art or towards the opponent. Man, you beat me today. That's not guaranteed that 3 months from now I'm not gonna beat you back. So why don't you give me the due respect of I know what you went through to be here on the octagon with me. I know it's not easy. So let's respect each other. Let's go at it. Right? Fight hard. But once it's done, celebrate your victory, but be humble. I'm big on that part. I don't think there will be anything that will change that in me. Um, and unfortunately, the UFC is not something that I continue to follow. Not anymore, just because of all that.
yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I mean, I'll catch something if it's on. Maybe I'll watch a little bit or anything, but it's not like it used to be where the next UFC came out and it's, oh yeah, I got to make sure where can I watch that or am I going to buy it or whatever. And now it's just like, oh, I'll maybe check it out and
Yeah,
just for the same reasons as you mentioned. There's not that respect. It's funny that in the early days there were less rules but more respect, and
respect.
now there's
You have less
more
respect,
rules and less
a lot more
less
rules.
respect.
Yeah.
So,
And
but
there are players that I follow. I've always been a huge fan of Ronda Rousey. I've always been a huge fan of Kyla Harrison. So I look forward to watch them fight. Oh, they're in the UFC. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna fight. And one thing that I couldn't stand is everyone talked about Ronda and her career and her fights and how tough she was and all of this, build her up. She made to the UFC. She opened the doors for a certain group of people to become part of that world. She did phenomenal, and then all of a sudden she loses one fight, and now she's trash. I can't stand that. You forgot everything that she's done throughout her life because of one fight. Now she's trash. No, uh, everyone now is cheering for Kyla Harrison to be destroyed, to lose. Why? She has 2 Olympic medals. She has the UFC title. She has won some other titles in other places, and it's like she's doing great for the martial arts world. She's very respectful. She's very humble. She fights hard. Why are we cheering and hoping that she will lose? Right? We did the same thing with Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva, the best fighter,
Mm.
in the world, boom, he breaks his leg, comes back and start losing. Oh, this guy is trash. Seriously? You just forgot that he went 11 years without getting beat by anybody. And all of a sudden, everyone becomes trash. I don't understand that mentality um, from from uh, from a competitor, not or a former competitor. I know that everyone's time is coming up. Everyone's time is coming up, and I'd rather watch you walk out in glory than in defeat. You know, I'm gonna appreciate everything you did for the sport. I'm gonna appreciate every kid that got inspired by you to get on the match, to go look for a gym. Because you lost one match, that doesn't tell me anything.
Exactly. Exactly. Very nice. Very nice. All right. So I know I need to make sure that I do this.
Sure.
And so you're got a little nickname there, Strike.
Yeah.
How where did that come about? And
The strike nickname comes just because of my martial art background, right? Um, since my early days, 14, 15, 16 years old, it was something that defined me. The guy fights hard. The guy is hard to beat. He punches hard and that kind of stuff. That's where he came from. So
gotcha.
it
Very
kind of
nice. Very nice.
it kind of sounds cool, so I kept it.
I like it. I like it. I like it. I have to admit I'm a little disappointed that Brazilian Jiu Jitsu has not
Mm.
adopted what they do in Capoeira, and you get your apelido, and I kind of wish that that they would do that in Jiu Jitsu, so that I can get another another name or transfer my name. So my so this is in the weeds for people that don't know, but in capoeira you get a nickname, a war name, whatever, and we won't get into the history and all that stuff like that. But everybody, for the most part, gets a little nickname. And when I started capoeira, I trained, I don't know, I guess about 4 years before I got my nickname, and I was always uh, disappointed that I didn't get one. And uh, then all of a sudden I got like four or five at the same time, or within, I guess, about a 2-3 month period. But only one stuck. So my apelido, my nickname, is Negao.
Okay.
Excuse me. And I mean, I don't know why. No, I'm just kidding. But so for those that don't know, Negao is essentially a big black guy. So
Big black guy.
now
Right.
that this now that the show is video, y'all can question why I got that, but yeah, it'd be nice if they had that in jiu-jitsu as well. But
And there's it's not normal, but in Brazil, competitors do have nicknames. A lot of them do. It's not something that is part of the tradition, but of the BJJ, but it's part of the tradition in the country. Everyone has a nickname, pretty much, right? Um,
okay,
but think about the world today, right? If we start giving nicknames to people when somebody gets offended because they don't like this and that, we're gonna get into a world that I don't want any part of, you know.
oh
So
yeah, no, I've got a story about that we'll talk about off the air.
off there,
Um, but I think you'll get a kick out of that. So we'll
I
talk
can
about that
I can
afterwards.
only I can only imagine, but that's one of
It's not that spicy, but
mm,
it's a funny. I think it's a funny story, but
you
we'll
know
talk about
there
that
was
later.
a
But
there was a time here in the early 2000s. I joined an academy and we were practicing and everything. And after a really long and hard ground. I kind of got on my knees and I extend my hand to shake the hand of my opponent, and I pull him and kind of gave him a big hug. Right? He pushed me and was like, "What are you doing? I don't like to be touched that way." I was like, "We were just rolling on top of each other here for almost an hour. What are you talking about? I just wanted to say thank you." So that kind of bothered me a little bit. I was like, "I'm just showing you all the respect in the world. You gave me a really tough fight. He you know, if it wasn't for you being here, I wouldn't be able to practice. I wouldn't have my workout and I couldn't get better. That was my intention with giving a hug, no water, nothing else." But he didn't appreciate that. I was like, all right. So now I kind of stepped back a little bit.
Oh gosh, that makes me think of a story. So I taught capoeira for a lot of years, and I remember there was this young lady that came to class, and I was like, okay, well, we're gonna do our kind of warm ups here, and we kind of got in our little circle, and we're gonna do these warm ups, and she kind of pulls me aside, and she's like, I don't like stretch around other people,
And then it's on its way.
and I kind of had this thought, like, y- you do realize what class that you came to. I mean, capoeira is a very group activity, and I'm not really sure. I wasn't really sure what to do with that information, but I just thought that was kind of funny. So,
Yeah, but we know.
so we are going to. Oh,
Go
go ahead.
ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was
Go ahead.
just gonna say we're gonna pivot over to another topic here because we're running through time here. But so something that I've been asking all my guests is since there isn't a universal standard about what it takes to be a black belt, what it means to be a black belt, I'm asking everyone in their own interpretation, since there isn't a right or wrong answer to that. Just what is your interpretation around being a black belt? What it means to be a black belt? What it means to earn a black belt? And just kind of what are your thoughts on that?
So the whole thing with black belt promotion, it's one of the subjects that I love to hate to discuss it, right? Because everyone has that, oh, it takes 10 years, oh, it takes 20 years, it takes this long. I'm like, it takes however long it's gonna take. For in each person's journey is different. If there's somebody that dedicates themselves to every practice, has their techniques, uh, upholds the values of the art, lives the art on and off the mat, why not promote him? Why are you going to hold him back? He is an ambassador of art. He is an ambassador of your academy. He is an ambassador of you as an instructor. Why not promote him? You know, oh, because he has to wait 10 years. Who said it? Who said the time that in 10 years? So in 10 years, just because I spent 10 years in the academy, I really do things halfway and I am not a model citizen. I don't uphold the values of the art. I'm trash talking everybody. Okay, 10 years, I'm a black belt. I'm completely against that. And I know people that will listen to it, oh, that's not how it is. I understand, but why are we so set on that 10 years, right? I it took me less than 10 years to get my black belt. So that means that I'm not a black belt? I've heard that before. I was like, you are entitled to your opinion and I appreciate you expressing your opinion, but it doesn't affect me in any way, shape, or form. As far as what does it mean to be a black belt, we all have our own thing. I think to me was achieving something to show that I had matured as a human being. That I that at that point it was my job to guide the ones that are coming after me to become model citizens, to become ambassadors of the art, and to be models that young kids would like to follow. That's what it means to me be a black belt. the ability to kick ass, the ability to win a match or to have a world title or any of that, I don't think that makes anybody a black belt. Know plenty of black belts that have never stepped on a competition mat, and they are phenomenal. Their technique is phenomenal. Their ability to talk to people, to understand, to reach people, and bring people to the sport is unmatched. I'm like, that's a black belt. That's a true black belt. And I know black belts that, hey, I'm thinking about going to that academy. I was like, think twice, three times, maybe four times, and just don't go. Well, but they have titles in this, and I was like, trust me, you are going to regret it. So I think I look at the black belt as much deeper than most people do. I expect a certain type of behavior that comes from the black belt is respect not only for self but for others, respect for life, respect for the art, right? You are an ambassador of the art. You are everything that that little kid wants to be when he grows up. What are you teaching that kid? Not as far as technique goes, but what are you teaching that kid as far as life goes? Right. And I think that's important. And when you see like we just had at Renzo Grace, five people, five very different people, five completely different jujitsu being promoted, and you look and you go, I can understand why each and every one of them was promoted. And of course, it's not my job to agree or disagree, but I am so proud. I was in tears when they were getting promoted. I was there wiping my tears and stuff because it was very emotional. I was like, every single one of these people deserves that black belt more than anybody else I know. And it was fantastic to watch. It's an experience like no other. When you watch them going through something that you already went through so many years ago. And with one of them, I had a conversation that I said, don't be upset because you didn't get like belt a couple years ago, because you had the time, because you had this, because you had that. Be proud and be honored that you are going to get your black belt from somebody that you respect, you admire, and you look up to. And that person just looked at me and was like, oh, I said, yes, think of it that way. Because this moment that you're going to go through, you will never forget. You will talk about this moment. You'll have pictures about this moment for the next 30, 40 years of your life. Do you really want somebody that you despise, that you don't respect to be part of that moment? Or you want somebody that inspire you, that pushes you, that makes you better, that you look up to? You're right. You're right. Like, then be ready for Saturday. I'm going to be here and I want to see that big smile. And no kidding. That person walk up to the front and had the biggest smile on the face. And I'm like, okay, now you understand. So,
Yeah, that was a great moment. Definitely, definitely got Dusty in the studio that day. So
but
yeah,
he did.
that was
Yeah, he sure did.
whew, yeah, it was tough. You know, you got all these tough folks, and they're like, no, gonna keep it composed. But then once that moment is really there, yeah, there was a few people that said they weren't gonna break that were breaking a little
Oh,
bit,
they broke.
but it was
They
good.
probably didn't
It
break
was
right
good.
there,
It was
but
good.
they did break at some point, either before or after. But
Yeah, it was a
it's
great moment.
that's how I look at a black belt. And the professors that we have at Renzo are inspiring. They are great humans, right? Are they perfect? No, nobody's perfect, right? But they are inspiring, they are supportive, they are ambassadors of the art, and we are very fortunate to be with them.
No, 100%, 100%. All right, so we are going to move over to what I call our lightning round here. I've got a few little questions for you as we head
Hmm,
towards wrapping up our time.
let's do it.
So the first one being, Do you have a favorite technique?
Favorite technique? I like the Kimura.
Nice, nice,
Kimura. Yeah.
very nice. Actually, I'm trying to think if that was the first class, first movement that I had. I think maybe not the
Probably not.
first. I think that was the second class. Got to work
But
on those. So very nice. I like it.
yeah, when I
All
learned
right.
the Kimura,
Do you have a
I want you to know that. Okay. Go ahead.
very nice, very nice. So then the next question: do you have a favorite weapon?
Favorite weapon, as in firearms or weapons in general?
Any weapon. So
Okay.
spoiler alert, but my previous interview, they said themselves. I said that's a very valid answer. So whatever you consider a weapon, it's fair
So
game.
based on that, I'm just gonna piggyback on that answer. I think the biggest weapon that I have and my favorite weapon is my wisdom and my knowledge that I acquired throughout the years.
Great answer. I like it. All right. Next question: if there's anyone that you could train with, living or dead, fictional or non-fictional, who would that be?
Holy smokes! Uh, there are two. There are two, and I think I would I would give anything and everything to be on the mats with Helio, Gracie, on when he was still rolling around, and I would give anything to be on the mats with him. And the other person is Jigoro Kano.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
I
Nice.
think I
Like
think
it.
the old man, both of them didn't create just a martial art. It's a way of living, being judo or jujitsu. And I think not only practice with them, but just if I could sit down and have a conversation with them for 30 minutes, I think I would truly enjoy that.
Mm, very nice. Yeah, I like that. I'm right there with you now. Now that I'm involved in the grappling world, I'm eager to learn more about it.
Yeah, but there are
Just
so
kind of
many
full.
out there that are phenomenal, that are fantastic. Picking one, it's unfair.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I like to make my guests work a little bit. So
Oh, that's all right.
very
That's all
nice.
right. Makes you fun.
All right. Last question. If what is something that
Mhm.
either always motivates you to train and or something that you'd like to put out for others to motivate them to train?
Something that motivates me to train, and it's the environment. Is the environment and the people, right? Gene McLeod's always puts life is better on the blue mats. Life is better on the blue mats. I'm just gonna tell you, life is better on the mats. Okay. There's never been a time when whatever it is that I had going on in my life, good or bad, that the mat didn't make it 100 times better. Just the people that I encounter on the mats, the environment, the atmosphere, the support, the encouragement is something that I haven't found anywhere else. And throughout life, I've been in I've been in this world for 40 plus years now. No matter what it is, I'm always drawn back to the mats. I have made friends for a lifetime, people that I haven't talked to in 20, 30 years, and all of a sudden, one message on Facebook is like, "Hey, I saw this post from you." It it, it changes, and there was something that was posted on a chat that it was, I when you have a training partner that genuinely cares about you and stops rolling and choking you and putting you in arm bars and says, "Let me pray for you." I mean, that is life changing, right? And this is what motivates me to go back tomorrow and keep going back and keep going back and forcing my way back. You won't find a better support system than the people on the mat.
Very nice. Very nice. I agree. I agree. Very nice. All right. So our very final piece of business today is the
All
shameless
right.
self-promotion. So you can plug anything that you want, or if there's anything else that you wanted to say that maybe you didn't get to say, you have the floor, and then we'll close out from there.
No, not about self promotion. I think jujitsu is much bigger than me, and the martial arts world is much bigger than me. We are a community, and I would like to see the community getting stronger together instead of fighting each other. Um, Protect your players, enjoy coming to practice, and understand this is for a lifetime. It's not just for a good time. I want to be on the mat when I am 60, and I'm not too far from there, 67 years old, and trust the partners that I have, that I will have a good time, and we'll go home and catch a really good night of sleep because I'm so tired.
I am 100% with you on that. Yeah, I sleep real good after some good rolls. So yeah,
Right?
I can.
Yeah, that
I,
always happens
that
too.
is that
It's
is
another benefit
great
of the art.
sleep aid. Yeah, I don't think anybody in jiu-jitsu has problems with insomnia. So
No, not
that's good
after
stuff.
absolutely not.
All right. Well, we are done with our time today. I thank you so much for taking the time to share your story, and we'll definitely have to do this again sometime and get into some more good stories and whatnot. But once again, I just thank you for being on and sharing your story, and I'm excited to get this out for others to hear.
I appreciate the time and I appreciate the opportunity, Reggie. And I would definitely love to come back and chit chat about some other stuff that we didn't have the time to chat about. There's plenty out there.
Right on, right on. Thank you. Thank you for listening to My Empty Hands. If you enjoyed the show, please share it with a friend. If you didn't enjoy it, please share it with an enemy. If you'd like to be a guest, or if you would like to recommend a guest for the show, please email me at podcast@talkingkempo.com. Thank you.